Dealing with a running toilet and want to get it taken care of yourself? Let me show you how it's done. In this case, the product that's failed is our fill valve. We can tell that because the water level is continuously going over the overflow tube and into the bulb. This means this device is not shutting off completely. You can also hear that in this situation, it's making a decent bit of noise. They're not always going to be audible, but when they are, that's another telltale sign. This job really isn't all that complex. All we're going to need is a small pair of pliers, mid-sized pair of pliers, a razor knife, and something to contain and clean the water. As far as parts go, we're going to be keeping things as simple as we can while maintaining good quality. We're going to be using this Fluid Master 400A fill valve, and for the sake of keeping things DIY friendly, we have a click, twist, seal supply line by Fluid Master. Links to everything you'll need for this job will be found in the description of this video. We're going to start by turning the water off to the toilet. We'll then flush the toilet. Make sure to clean any residual water that may have splashed. Don't worry, that's clean water. We'll then place a bucket underneath the shutoff valve and rotate the supply line counterclockwise to disconnect it. Holding the supply line over the bucket, we'll go ahead and disconnect the connection to the fill valve. This is also a counterclockwise turn. It's usually hand tight, but you can use a medium pair of pliers if needed. Next, we'll disconnect the hose from the overflow tube, simply pull straight out. We'll then take our pliers onto the nut that holds the fill valve in place and rotate counterclockwise. Make sure you have your bucket underneath. This is where you may make a little bit of a mess. I like to tilt the fill valve just at a slight angle underneath the bucket. It helps to direct the water where I want it to go. Now we'll go ahead and unbox the new fill valve. We're going to take either end of the tube and push it onto the fill valve refill port. Slides right on with minimal effort. Next, we're going to do a basic adjustment of the water level. We'll hold the fill valve in place, grab onto the black shank, and rotate it counterclockwise. I'm going to go to about this point here. Yours may vary. You may have to tweak it a little bit. I'll show you how to do so as the video progresses. We're then going to take our bag and remove the white nut. Now we're going to put our fill valve into the tank, pushing the shank right through the hole. Make sure you keep the fill valve relatively lined up so that it's not going to have any kind of conflict with the tank lever or with the overflow tube. We'll then take the nut, the flat portion goes against the tank, and begin to rotate it clockwise. Grab the tabs with your fingers and tighten it down hand tight. Then we'll take our pliers and give it about a quarter turn just to make it nice and snug. Next up is our supply line. I like to go ahead and take the tags off. I think it looks a little bit cleaner. Now this particular supply line has a feature in it that clicks much like a gas lid on your vehicle once you've got it tight enough. Not all supply lines have this feature, and if you're comfortable making these installations already, you don't necessarily need to pay the extra couple dollars for it. However, if this is a new job to you, it may be worth paying the couple extra dollars to have that safety feature so that you know you have it tight enough without over tightening it and causing something to crack down the road. I'm going to have links for both this product as well as the non-click option in the description. We'll go ahead and make the connection to the fill valve first. Listen for the click. Now we'll go ahead and thread the supply line onto the shutoff valve, rotating clockwise. We'll start by getting it hand tight, and then we'll take our pliers, make sure you hold back on the valve, and tighten it up until it feels good and snug. Take the other end of your supply hose, and you're going to push it right into the overflow tube. Now I like to trim off the excess, it just makes it a little bit cleaner. You don't have to do so. Basically all I'm going to do is line it up with my finger, see about the point I want to trim off. I'll take it over to the lid where I've got some resistance and cut it right through with my razor knife. Again, you can skip this step if you want to. Just make sure you don't have any kinks in the hose if it is too long. Go ahead and turn the water back onto the toilet. Now we're going to go ahead and fine tune our water level adjustment. You'll notice the overflow tube has a water level line on it, and we're not quite up to that water level line. We're going to go ahead and adjust the level just a little bit. In this case, it's going to take a little bit more than a fine tune adjustment, so I'm going to show you exactly how we do that. Shut the water back off to the toilet and go ahead and flush the tank again. You'll notice a little collar towards the bottom of the fill valve shank. We can then reach in and pull that collar up. That's going to allow us to lift the fill valve. I'm going to go 2 clicks here, and then we'll push the collar back into place. With the collar back in, we'll turn the water to the tank back on. We're now just a little bit too high, so I'll show you how we fine tune it. The circle on the top of the fill valve is a fine tuning mechanism. If we rotate clockwise, the water level will increase, counterclockwise will decrease. We're going to go ahead and go counterclockwise. I like to run until the rod is about halfway. I'll then pull the lever up and let water go through just enough until the fill valve begins to kick back on. You may need to play around to get the adjustment you need. In this case, we're going to increase a little bit back into it. And with that, you've completed your installation. Congratulations, my friend. If this video has been helpful, leave it a like, and if you enjoy seeing videos like this, consider subscribing. Have a great day.